Hello. Hi, my name is Cesar Castillo. Um, I'd like to share a little bit of information about my career as a welder. Um, and my main goal is that somebody else can learn from my mistakes and get to a higher place as a welder at a faster through a faster way. Like a better route. Let's just say a shortcut. Like there's so many things that I did that I messed up that I look back and I could have done it better, and I could have went through a better road leading to years that I could have saved, by just by because just by learning from the wise is my best advice, is what I'm trying to give my 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 welding career. And so So my name is Cesar Castillo, and I hope that my welding experience can help others. There's a lot of do's and don'ts in welding, and safety is a number one. Welding is a very dangerous business. If you just jump into it, you never know. There's a lot of safety hazards, a lot of things that welder needs to know before he goes to the shop or to the field. There's a lot of things that you have to think about. And first thing in starting a welding business is to learn from the best and the most experienced welders. So far, that has been my best advice, and that I can give other welders that are barely starting their welding business, is to hang around the best welders, and they teach you the tricks of the trade. They teach you what people are looking for. They have the knowledge and the experience of how to get the work done the best way at the best time. And because college, to me, like, it helped me learn the safety, it helped me learn the basics, but it didn't teach me the tricks of the trade. Because when you're with a 20-year-old experienced welder, he knows the trick of the trade. He knows how to manipulate, how to control the rods, how to do everything. That just takes time for someone to show you. But once you do get taught by the best, you can use the rest of the time, to practice and learn, and just sharpen your skills. College is a good start for that main reason, is safety. Welding uses torches and fire to cut metal. So of course it uses gas, and air. I mean, and oxygen tanks, and not necessarily fire. But I guess what I'm saying is that the sparks and that welding causes can cause an explosion if there's a tank around and there's fumes from fuel. And there's been so many stories that I've heard of things happen and people die because of something to do with the fire starting an explosion, or from a spark, or even a fire start a field on fire, over grind dust, because when a welder's focused, he's not. Sometimes he forgets about his surroundings, and as he's grinding, he forgets all that grind dust is going one way. Not all the time, because most of the time when you get experience, you get to understand. Where your grind dust is going. Like, you have an idea, but there's those times where you lose your focus because you're so focused on getting something done that you forget, that you're grinding for a long time, and that you're creating a lot of heat towards the ground. And if you have grass around you, it doesn't take a long time for that grass to catch on fire. So I've caught part of a yard on fire because I was cutting something. We're building a small building and small shed, and on the other side there was a lot of dry grass, and the grass caught on fire because when I was cutting with the torch, some of the flames fell and on that dry grass, and it caught that field or part of that yard so fast. There was no time to do anything. It was kind of scary. It shook everybody up. Thank God we was able to get it in control, and it didn't get out of control because there wasn't a lot of grass around, but it just kind of cooled down. We was able to get a water hose, but it's really stressful to be in a situation like that because you don't know. It just feels like the worst is the situation escalates pretty fast to just out of control in minutes, in seconds. So let me see here. Welding also on metal, on hazardous material, can cause death or serious injury. You don't want to weld on something that has chemicals, and those fumes can kill you. You don't know what chemicals are on that material. And also tight spaces where there's not a lot of oxygen can kill you, like welding in places that are closed up, really close, and there's not a lot of oxygen, and if you have the wrong gases in a tank and you're welding in there, it can kill you because there's not a lot of air to breathe oxygen. Like, it's just a confined space. So very dangerous. I remember learning that in safety, to be careful with closed up areas where there's not a lot of air and where there's not a lot of oxygen where you can breathe fresh air. And if you're welding inside of a tank with fumes or anything like that, or the wrong gas, it can kill you. So safety is number one, and then safety for your eyes is the second thing to think about, because sparks and grind dust are always a continued thing in welding. And there's been a few times where I have had some close encounters. The best welders are the most experienced welders. I was welding with about 60 to 80 rig welders that had between 10 to 20 years of experience, and just being around them for a good 3 years really showed me the big picture and helped me to see the tricks of the trade, and that welding is something you practice to get good, and it's over time that you get good, not overnight. So every welder that got a good job is because they did hood time. They practiced what they learned in their own time. So I know I still got a lot to practice, but God willing, I start spending some time by myself welding and sharpen my skills. And I've noticed out there in the field, people take pride in their work. They take pride because the inspectors, they're always looking for perfect welding, and then you build a name by what you do, so people will know you by your work, and you have to do works of pride so people can hire you on the next job. Like, the word goes around what kind of work you do, so it's very important to do works of pride. Take your time and double check everything. welding is a trade with a lot of information and a lot of machines that you have to learn their process to weld. It's a lot of information if you're a combo welder, meaning you know how to weld with many machines, because there's a few machines that you can weld with, and in the oil field most of it is used with stick welding, and then you have MIG welding, and then you have TIG welding, and also flux core. So thank God I was able to use a little bit of everything, and so these are the steps to becoming a welder at a faster rate than most welders, because I learned by no one telling me. Nobody showed me the best route, the best way. If they would have, I would have saved maybe 4 years of experience. Takes practice welding. The more practice, the better. Practice makes perfect. So I've been taught to do my hood time. They call hood time when you practice welding by yourself and you sharpen your skills, which is something that you do that requires a lot of time, hours and days. But that's what gets you the job, is to have them skills sharpened. After working with the best and most experienced welders, I have learned the tricks of the trade by being around the best. Let's see here. Another last thing I want to talk about is rig. The rig for a rig welder is very important, because that's your transportation that carries your equipment to the job location, and it's just very important to have a very dependable truck. A lot of welders get dualies because they're heavy duty and they're bigger than the 2500, they're 3500, and they can haul a lot of weight and not break as much because they built them to last harder and longer. And I got 2 trucks. Thank God I was able to make some good money at some time and buy 2 trucks, and one of them's a 3500 and the other one's a 2500. But a rig could cost up to $80,000, and the welding tools can cost about $30,000. Welding is very expensive. The equipment and the rig and the welders, they do make a lot of money after they pay that, So while the welder is building his business, he's not even making money until he pays his equipment, his tools. Then he starts making good money. But that's the word of advice for somebody to get a good, somebody needs a real good, dependable truck that can go a long distance, even 4-wheel drive. Myself, I was able to get 2 trucks so I can always have a backup, because I didn't want to lose my work if I missed a day or 2. So, in conclusion, to this advice is to have a fast-growing business as the welders, to work with the best and practice alone to improve skills, which they call hood time in the oil field. They say practice makes perfect, and a rig welder is not made overnight. If someone that had 20 years of experience would have shown me the best route to welding career, I would have saved maybe 4 years experience time to get to my position that I am today. So this is it for today, and I just hope that my steps to where I have gotten can and the experience that I have gotten can help others be routed in a better direction. And I guess one of the mistakes that I've made is just well, one of my success is that I was welding with a lot of rig welders. That was my my success, was that I was around the best. So, but going to a college that has rig welders, experienced people from the oil field, going to a college that can teach you pipe welding, I think that would have been a better route for me, to go to a pipe welding school, because they teach you how to pass tests at the oil field to get jobs. I think that was my mistake. Nobody told me about that. So, but here at this college, I was able to learn the safety and the basics, which put my foot in the door. But it just took a longer route, a longer time. Just took to get to where I'm at. But if I would have started off, right, went to the right place, was taught how to do pipe welding and how to pass oil field job welding, testing and everything, I think I would have succeeded and faster than what I did. But either way, there's still time to learn from the best. Here at the school where I went to, there was a good TIG welder, and he was able to teach me how to do TIG pipe. So I thank God for that he was a good teacher. So that made a big difference. Well, thank you everybody, and God bless.